I can sit here today and tell you, based upon every brief that was filed and based upon every Supreme Court decision, that I should have never been in jail, and that every court avoided their responsibility and did not follow the law.
Because he confronted Los Angeles Superior Court Judge David Yaffe and refused to back down on principle, Dr. Fine suffered the last 18 months of his life in the Los Angeles County Men's Central Jail in solitary coercive confinement.
I thought that the system would work and I would have been out within 5 days.
Fully knowing what was about to happen, Dr. Fine stood up in front of Superior Court Judge David Yaffe and accused him of taking illegal payments. He stood there in respectful defiance, refusing to back down on principle.
I did it because of the fact that it was the right thing to do. I readily admit that I did not realize that the hatred of the judges who were getting the criminal payoffs was so great that they were going to do everything possible to keep me in here, and that the other parts of the judiciary was going to try and cover these payments up.
So what hope is there if decisions by the judges are made based on politics instead of reason? Aren't they operating under the rule of men instead of the rule of law as they're supposed to?
We live in a country where we have a rule of law, and the rule of law basically says that a judge doesn't take a payoff. A judge doesn't take a bribe. And here we had not only Judge Yaffe, I mean, he's the face on this, but he represents 90% of the judges in California. So consequently, we had a system that had gone awry. There was no way in the system that somebody was going to get a fair trial.
This principled stand cost him more than a year of his life. Solitary coercive confinement, alone in a cold concrete cell, knowing that dangerous felons are released after serving only half their sentence. He was jailed, never having been charged or convicted, potentially forever. There was no end in sight, ever. Never seeing the sun, never breathing fresh air.
I'm in a room that is 7.5 feet wide, 13 feet long from the door to the wall, but the basic room, by the time you take away the facilities for the sink and the toilet, is really down to 8 feet long and maybe 8 feet high. White walls, no windows, lights are on 24 hours a day. No exercise. This was my life for 18 months.
The third branch of government is the judicial system. It was established by our founding fathers to be a check on the easily corruptible political branches of government, the executive and legislative branches. Now it appears that this third branch has become corrupted by politics.
I fully recognized that the corruption, when I use the word corruption, not only the corruption of the payments, but the attitude of the abuse of power to allow the corruption to exist and stay within the system, had gone so far that the entire system was undermined. When this system went, we lost all of our protections.
What does the future hold for Dr. Richard I. Fine? He wants to restore his beloved justice system.
The cover-up is over. It's out in the open. It didn't work. The issue didn't die. I didn't die in jail. The issue is alive, and we're going to restore the judicial system.
What happens when you accuse an LA Superior Court judge of taking illegal payments? You go to jail with no trial and no sentence, potentially for the rest of your life. But in spite of everything Judge David Yaffe threw at him, Dr. Richard I. Fine won his freedom. You'll hear this extraordinary tale of struggle, survival, and eventual victory next on Full Disclosure.